Hello, my dear students. Welcome back. Today, I am going to discuss about underwriting and SEBI guidelines. This is a very important concept from stock exchange operations. So, let's understand what is this underwriting and what are the different SEBI guidelines for underwriting. So we'll start with underwriting. In the context of a company, it actually means to take a responsibility, or you can say it is about giving a guarantee, either a responsibility or giving a guarantee that the securities, be it a share or be that debentures, be that share or debentures offered to public will be subscribed for. This is actually what is underwriting here. Further, if we want to substantiate it, we can say underwriting is the process through which an individual or institution or any agency, what it does, it takes a financial risk for a fee. Here, what that individual or that institution does, it will first buy securities from a company, and then it is going to sell those securities to the public in the market. And in return for selling those securities in the market, that individual or institution get free from is going to get fee from a company. So further we can add to this underwriting, we can say it is a process which is mostly seen during initial public offerings. So first time when the company is offering its shares to the public, wherein investment banks, what they do, these investment banks, they are going to first buy or underwrite the securities of the issuing entity. Here issuing entity can be any company, and after that when they underwrite these securities, they are going to sell them in the market. They are going to sell them in the market. Now here the company or the firm which undertakes the guarantee are first buying the shares from the issuing entity and then selling them in the market is called an underwriter. So who is an underwriter? An underwriter is any individual or any institution or any agency who is taking the responsibility of selling the shares or the securities of a company to the general public, right? So this is what is an underwriter, or this is who is an underwriter. Now if we further talk about this underwriting, it is somehow similar to insurance in the sense that it provides protection to the issuing company against the failure of an issue of capital to the public. Here what happens, this underwriter, as he is taking the responsibility as well as he is giving guarantee to the issuing entity that the shares of that particular company will be subscribed for, that is the general public is going to purchase their securities. This type of guarantee and responsibility who is taking here, it is the underwriter. And hence we can say here this underwriter is one way offering a type of protection. It is offering a type of protection to the company for what? For the subscription of the shares by the general public. And hence we can say it will ensure the success of a new issue of capital, and if the shares or debentures are not subscribed by the public. And hence we can say here underwriting is therefore an act of undertaking the guarantee or responsibility by an underwriter of buying the shares or debentures placed before the public in the event of non subscription. Now if I give the example of different underwriters of India, we have here Ocean Infrastructure Limited. This is the first we have here. Then we have Geojit Securities Limited, we have Geojit in Financial Services Limited, then we have MS Global Securities India Limited, and then we have CIL Securities Limited. These are a few underwriters of India, well-known underwriters of India, I can say. So next we are going to discuss about the different forms of underwriting. The nature and form of underwriting transactions depends mainly upon the nature of project, then the state of the capital market, what type of capital market we have, what's the state of that, the general response of investors to the new issues. This is one more, like on what the underwriting is going to depend on. Then we have one more, the reputation of the promoters, and then we have final one here, which is capacity of the underwriters. Now here, this underwriting, this is mostly undertaken on the commission basis. Here an issuing company may get underwriting from a single underwriter, but we have to keep in mind it depends upon the size of the issue. If the size of issue is so large that it is unmanageable by a single underwriter and the risk involved is also high, that time it is up to the company to decide the number of underwriters, and hence the company may approach a number of underwriters. So based on this, we have different forms of this underwriting. So the first form of underwriting here is, it is full underwriting. So what is this full underwriting now? Now this full underwriting, what this actually is, it is actually an agreement under which the underwriter undertakes the guarantee of buying the whole of shares or debentures placed before the public in the event of non-subscription. Right, so he is going to do what? He is going to undertake the guarantee of buying the whole of those shares or debentures in case the public is not subscribing for those debentures as well as shares. And here if we talk about what is the liability of the underwriter, here under this full underwriting, the liability of the underwriter is to buy and pay for the entire unsubscribed portion of the issue. When we talk about the issue, that issue can be of shares or that issue can be of debentures. This is what is full underwriting. Now we have next one, which is called as partial underwriting. यहाँ पर what is this underwriting? Under this type of agreement, the underwriter undertakes the guarantee for only part of the issue offered to the public. And here under this form of underwriting, what is the liability of the underwriter? It is limited to the extent of unsubscribed portion of the issue underwritten by him. Right, now we have next one, which is called as joint underwriting. What is this joint underwriting? It is the case in case of a large issue which is unmanageable by a single underwriter and where the risk involved is too high. The issuing company may enter into underwriting agreement with more than one underwriter. So under this joint underwriting, what is going to happen? The issue would be large, and there would again be, when the issue is large, that means risk will be high, and hence what the company is doing, the company is going to enter into an agreement with more than one underwriter. And hence when the underwriters are more than one, and hence each underwriter will undertake the guarantee for the issue of a certain portion of the whole issue offered to the public. So each, if we have for example 3 underwriters here, all these 3 underwriters are going to take responsibility or guarantee of a particular portion of that issue. One may take 30, the other one will take again 30, is how much? 60. Then the last one is going to take responsibility for the 40% of the issue. And the risk that's involved here will depend on what? It will depend on the number of shares or debentures which are underwritten each of those underwriters. Sometimes the promoters of issuing company, what they do, they prefer this joint underwriting over other forms of underwriting, because they believe in this, that if the underwriters are, if they are operating in different regions of the country, it will be very easy for the company to diffuse the issue over a number of investors, and those investors are scattered all over the country, and retain control over management of the company. Now we have fourth one here. The fourth one here is a syndicate underwriting. Under this type of underwriting, what happens? A number of underwriting firms here, there will be n number of underwriting firms who are going to enter into an agreement among themselves to undertake the guarantee of buying shares or debentures of a large issue offered to the public involving huge funds and risk. So here in this type or in this form of underwriting, the underwriters are going to come together, and then they are going to take the responsibility or guarantee of the issue which is offered to the public, involving huge funds as well as risk. Now this syndicate underwriting, it is different from this joint underwriting so far as the agreement among the underwriters is concerned. Here in this syndicate underwriting, what happens? Two types of separate agreements take place in this syndicate underwriting. What is happening? Two types of separate agreements will take place. One between the issuing company and the syndicate of underwriters, and the other among the underwriters who are members of the syndicate, right? Then we have one more form of underwriting here, which is called as firm underwriting. Now what is this firm underwriting? I will explain. It is when an underwriter undertakes to buy or subscribe. What he is going to do? He is going to buy or subscribe a certain number of shares or debentures irrespective of the subscription from the public, right? From the public. Fine. This is called as firm underwriting. Fine. It is called as firm underwriting. Here the liability of the underwriter, in case of firm underwriting is both for shares underwritten as well as such part of the shares as the public has not applied for, right? Here the liability is for both the shares which are underwritten as well as the part of shares of the public which has not been subscribed for. That is what is firm underwriting. The biggest advantage of this firm underwriting here is it generates a type of confidence among investors, and hence it increases the chances of success of the issue. That is what is firm underwriting. Then we have next one here, which is called as sub underwriting. Now what is this sub underwriting? Sometimes what happens, the underwriter enters into an agreement with some other underwriter to undertake guarantee for the issue of whole or part of the issue underwritten by him. So here one underwriter is going to select some other underwriter under this form of underwriting, which is called as sub underwriting. This underwriter is going to take the responsibility or the guarantee of the whole issue or a part of the issue which is underwritten by the main underwriter. So such type of agreement between the main underwriter and the other underwriter. Here the other underwriter is who? The other underwriter here is sub underwriter, right? Is called as or is known as sub underwriting. So here the biggest advantage for this sub underwriter is he is not having any agreement with the issue company, right? And he works under the main underwriter who pays them some commission out of his underwriting commission, right? So he is not going to have any kind of agreement with the issuing company. This person will work for the main underwriter and he is going to get some part of commission from the main underwriter. Now if we talk about all these 6 forms of underwriting, here all these underwriters are working for what? They are working on commission basis. But however, there is one more form of this underwriting which is called as outright purchases of issue. Outright purchases of this form. So all these form till here, all these were working for what? They were working for commission. But however, in some cases, the underwriter, instead of undertaking guarantee to buy shares or debentures which are not subscribed by the public, here in this type of agreement, what happens? The underwriter is going to enter into an agreement to outrightly purchase the issue, be it the issue of shares or be it the issue of debentures at an agreed price, and later this outright purchase of issue, the underwriter here, what he is going to do, he is going to sell the same issue through their own arrangements, right? That is what is outright purchase of issue. So there would be an agreed price at which he is going to buy, and then this underwriter here, he is himself going to make an arrangement to sell all those shares through his own arrangements, right? Now we'll discuss the role of underwriting. We are going to discuss the role of underwriting now. The first one is assurance of adequate finance. Now we know underwriting, it is an act of undertaking guarantee by an underwriter, right, to buy and pay for the shares or debentures which are placed before the public in the event of their non-subscription, right? And hence we can say through this underwriting, an issuing company is at least assured of procuring the required funds from the issue of shares or debentures. Now in the event of non-subscription by the public, here this underwriter is going to purchase the unsubscribed part of the issue, and hence he is going to provide this finance to the company. So hence we can say by this underwriting there is an assurance of adequate finance provided to the corporates or to the companies. The next role here is it is supply of valuable information to companies. In addition to the protection of risk of the issuing companies with regard to the success of the issue, the underwriters here, they supply this valuable information in regard to the first one here is capital market condition, capital market condition. This is the first one, that is capital market condition. Then we have next one, which is a general response of the investors also, that is the response of investors, right? This is going to give us this information also to the companies, right? These companies are usually benefited from the expert advice of the underwriters, because underwriters here, they know the market better than the companies, right? They are knowing the market better than the companies. Then the next role here is, it is a distribution of securities. Now here what is happening, after the securities are purchased by the underwriters, what they are going to do, they are going to distribute, the same to the real investors. They are going to distribute the same securities to the real investors, right? The underwriters, through agents and other, like who may work under them, they are going to diffuse the issue over a large number of investors who are scattered, across the length and breadth, or I can say different parts of the country. So hence we can say underwriting helps promoters to retain control over the management of the company. And here, from each part of the country, the real investors are going to, buy your securities. Now we have here one more, which is increase in goodwill of the issuing company. Here, the underwriting of capital issues by prestigious institutions. If we have some prestigious institutions, these prestigious institutions, what they are going to do, they are going to generate confidence among investors and are going to improve their response to the issue. That means because of these prestigious institutions, there can be a positive response to the issue. So the success of issue here depends upon what, the goodwill of the underwriter. And hence, when the goodwill of the underwriter is good, this is going to definitely help in a positive way to the issuing company, and hence we can see it is going to increase the goodwill of the issuing company. Here if we talk about the foreign countries, or the investors who are in the advanced countries, they are more influenced by these, like agencies, prestigious agencies. They are more influenced by the prestige of the underwriting agencies than by the prestige of the issuing companies. Now here only we can understand the role of these prestigious underwriters, and hence we can say here, ultimately there would be an increase in the goodwill of the company if the company is selecting some prestigious underwriters. Now the next role here is service to prospective investors. Here what happens, in this case, underwriters are going to provide some vital information about the issuing companies to the prospective investors. Not only they are going to provide the information, along with the information they are going to advise them. They are going to advise them, like which type of shares of which company they are going to purchase, right? They are going to provide them advice as well as information. Okay? They, along with this, encourage people to more save more, and direct that savings in corporate securities. Fine. Thus investors are also benefited through underwriting here, because they are getting, first they are getting information, and second they are getting advice from the underwriters. Then we have one more here, which is a service to the society. Now here, if we talk about the pace of industrialization of country, it depends to a great extent upon the successful flotation of capital issues. By mobilizing resources and providing adequate finance, underwriters play a very important role in setting up of new projects, increasing employment, production, and per capita income. Because when industries are increasing at a faster pace, it is definitely going to give chance for different people to come up with different and new and innovative projects. Then it will give chance for more employment also, right? Employment also, and then production is going to increase, and where employment will increase, production will increase, it will hence help in improving the per capita income of the citizens of our country also, right? Thus it is not only the corporate enterprise but also the society at large which is benefited by underwriting. As I said you, this is going to help in employment generation, right? This is going to help in employment generation. Along with employment generation, it is going to increase in the production and hence will help in increasing the per capita income of the citizens of our country. My dear friends, I hope you have understood till now about what is underwriting, different forms of underwriting, and then the role of underwriting. In my next video, I am going to discuss with you about the SEBI guidelines on underwriting. Thank you so much. Please, my dear friends, like my videos, share my videos, and do comment on my videos. Along with that, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.